Chuck is a 58-year-old engineer. 2 years ago, he was driving home from a workout at the gym. He was, I think he said US 1 in Florida, near Cocoa Beach. Developed crushing chest pain. He said, you know, they say it's like an elephant sitting on your chest. I had a whole herd of them sitting on my chest. He said he got dizzy and decided at that point that his Tesla Autodriver would be safer than him. He took a nitro for the first time in his life and said, I got a lot dizzier. He was able to stop the car at the side of the road, but he wasn't able to get help. He called his wife and kids to say goodbye. Now, obviously, Chuck has, things went better than they could have. Chuck's here to give the interview about it. But for those of us who are in the business and effort of trying to prevent our heart attacks and other people's heart attacks, there's maybe a bigger story. It has to do with Chuck and his diet. He lost, well over 30 pounds on a vegan diet. I believe that was before his heart attack. And he tells a little bit about that for a minute or so before he gets into this wild ride story. We'll publish the full interview a little bit later to talk about what he did with his diet afterwards.
Overall cholesterol down to 120. I think my LDL was 55. And then a short 2.5 years later, I was working out one day and got through working out. It was 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And went back to my office, and I did not feel good. I'm like, something's going on here. I said, I think I'm just going to change clothes, throw my stuff in the bag, and I'm going to head to the house and see maybe we need to go to the hospital. I don't know. I didn't have any chest pain at that time, just uncomfortable. And so I threw, for some reason, this is such a crazy story, but I always throw my backpack in the trunk. And after I have my stents, I always carry my nitro with me, and I kept it in my backpack. And I always throw my backpack in the trunk. And this day, I threw it in the back seat. And I was going home. I got for every mile I went down the road, I felt, it just got worse and worse. And I finally came to the point and said, you know, I think I'm having a heart attack. And now all of a sudden, the chest pain is coming in pretty strong. And so I didn't tell you this piece, but I've got a Tesla. So I put the Tesla in Autodriver. So the car's driving down the road. I'm having a heart attack. I'm reaching around in the back seat, grabbing my backpack. I pull the nitro out, pull it out. The nitro tablets go all over the car. But fortunately, when I was laying in the seat, so I picked it up, popped the nitro. Well, I had never taken nitro before. I'd had them in case there was an issue, but never taken one. So as you know, it's a vasodilator, and it definitely did the dilation, and my blood pressure dropped like wham. And so now I'm driving down the road, US 1 in Cocoa, 50 miles an hour, having a heart attack, feel like I'm about to pass out. And then at that point, I said, I'm not going to make it home. I'm not going to make it to the hospital, which, by the way, was only like 2 to 3 miles down the road. And so I pulled off.
That sounds like one of these, you know, you hear that one episode, maybe more now, where the Google driver wrecked and killed somebody. It sounds like it saved somebody, maybe more than one.
That autopilot helped me that day. I probably should have got off the road a lot sooner. But the interesting thing, I pulled in this parking lot, called 911. You can't believe how hard it is to dial 911 when you're having a heart attack. It's probably the most difficult thing you've ever done, just trying to hit the buttons. I hit speed dial a couple of times. I finally got them, and they came. They responded very quickly, laid on the horn, hoping somebody would come help me. Couldn't get anybody to come help me. They were looking at me, but because of the fact that I was laying on the horn, I couldn't get anybody to come help me. But Bard County Fire and Rescue showed up, did a fantastic job of getting me out of the car. In the meantime, while I was waiting on them to come, I really thought I was going to die. I mean, I was that old, they tell you what a heart attack feels like with the elephant standing on your chest. Well, I had a whole herd of them standing on my chest. And I said, this is it. I was able to get my wife. We were just a couple miles down the road where we live. And I had told her goodbye. I said, hey, I'm sorry I got to do this. This wasn't planned, but, I love you. And able to give kids goodbye. And I thought, literally, at that time, I thought that was it. And but fortunately, it got me in the ambulance, got me down to the hospital. It seemed like it took forever, but I think it only took a couple of minutes. And they had the crew down there waiting on me. When I walked in the door, they started working on me. And then the next thing happened that was really just unbelievable is my cardiologist walks in the door. And I'm like, where did you come from? And he's like, I was just working a 24-hour shift. I was driving down the road. I don't know if somebody called him or how he heard about it, but he just came in and totally took control of the situation, got me in the operating room. And I would say, Dr. Brewer, from the time this happened to the time I had that third stent, right above the first two that they had in my LAD, they sucked the clot out and they put the stent in. I'm going to say it was no more than 40 minutes.
Wow.
And the great news about that is my ejection fraction is still the same as at the time a 56-year-old male. So I didn't have any heart damage, which was
no damage.
Miraculous. I mean, God took care of me that day. He did a lot of things lined up to go really, really right. That it could have gone really, really bad. So that's sort of my adventures, if you will, with cardiovascular disease up until the heart attack. And then after the heart attack, it's sort of been a journey, if you will, to come up with an approach that, in my mind, as an engineer, gives me a statistically, I want to do the best thing I can do with my health so that I know that I'm doing everything I can do based on the data that's out there today to live as long as I can. So that's sort of where I'm at right now.
So I told you it was a wild ride. Again, for those of us working to prevent heart attacks and strokes, the rest of the story is in many ways more important. Chuck began to look at his blood sugar. Despite having lost, again, way over 30 pounds with a vegan diet, he noticed that his fasting blood sugar was over 100. His cardiologist noticed it and said, "You've got a little bit of sugar. You probably should talk to your primary care doc." Chuck then started looking at some things he found on the internet, this channel, and some other things, and started to look at his triglyceride over HDL ratio. It was beyond 1, a safe level. Beyond 2, which is not a safe level, it was 5. So Chuck got very focused on looking at blood sugar. And we'll cover that in depth a little bit later in Wild Ride, the full interview. Thank you.